The moment is here, you can stop your search. It's Comics by Perch.
Hey everybody, this is Perch. Let's get right to the mailbag. It says, hey Perch, firstly, I wanted to say how much I've enjoyed your YouTube channel. The content you provided has been incredibly engaging. I'm generally going to miss it if you ever decide to bring it to an end. I am bringing it to an end. On a lighter note, if you ever choose to wrap things up, I think many of us would love to see you and Zach hop onto a live stream for a chat, live or pre-recorded, minus the goo-goo eyes, of course. You know, it's funny. When this channel got started, I remember people writing me saying I'm the anti-Zach, and it was I kind of none of that ever really meant much because I don't know what that means exactly. I do my thing. I've always done my thing. He's done his thing. I'm sure if you looked at the arc of these two channels, they've evolved quite a lot. I remember one of the first times I was mentioned on his channel. I think the very first time he mentioned me, I don't know. Again, I self-admit, I haven't seen all the videos by any stretch of the imagination. I generally, when I have spare time, I'm recording for all you. I'm not listening to anything else. It's actually kind of a bummer. It's one of the downsides to this channel because I stopped listening to commentary from everyone. There's a bunch of Mark Miller videos I still need to watch, some of the interviews he's done that I'm anxiously looking forward to. Anyway, one of the first mentions I had on that channel was it's I don't remember the exact insult, but it was something along the lines of, I think I hate that guy. that was how Zach described me. And then fast forward like a year to, I don't know, sometime later, I did I think a Miss Marvel sales analysis, and he liked that video. And then, it's just been funny. It's been funny, the arc of how these things have worked. So anyway, will we do an interview? I don't know that he would ever want to do that, but I agree. I'll throw out a friendly chat, like just set up a little phone, like somewhere here in Texas. We could meet in a bar, and talk, and we get like an hour and a half of no comics. He'd talk about like lawn care. I'd talk about, I don't know what I'd talk about, but anyway, we could an hour and a half of no comic conversation. It'd be that would be subverting expectations right there. Anyway, back to the mail. It says, for me, it feels like Marvel might be pushing the Parker luck a bit too much. Back in the day, Peter's misfortune was centered around daily life challenges, going on patrol, stopping a crime, consequently missing a date or reception at the Bugle. It was relatable and added a level of complexity to Spider-Man's character. I entirely agree, by the way, and I'm going to finish the mail, but I think that's a really good point. And it's an area where people thoroughly misunderstood what kind of quote-unquote Parker luck meant. And if you read those old comics, anyway, I think this mail's doing a good job of describing it. It says, lately, however, it seems like this Parker luck is being portrayed in a much more intense and dramatic fashion. It's as if Peter sets out to do a good deed, like saving someone, but ends up with grave misfortunes, the kind that's life-altering. Example, Peter goes out to save a homeless person from getting hit by a car, but oops, he accidentally was struck by the person's heroin needle, and now he's addicted. Oh well, Parker luck. Your thoughts on this would be highly appreciated. I entirely agree. So to kind of back up a second, the whole deal with the Parker luck was exactly what you described. And it really stemmed from that first issue, the Amazing Fantasy issue, where it was with great power comes great responsibility, or rather Peter's guilt, and try to make up for the fact that he had a chance to stop a burglar, and instead was selfish, more or less. And as a result, his Uncle Ben was killed. And that was the crux of his life. That was a big life-altering kind of hero's journey moment that set him on his path. And it wasn't that his uncle died. It was that he believed and he knew that he had a chance to stop it, and he didn't take that chance. And as a result, bad things happened. So he didn't pull the trigger. He didn't kill his Uncle Ben, but a simple act of his would have, prevented that death. That's the moment. I've seen recent comics and some recent Spider-Man writers talk about how much Uncle Ben's death affected Peter. Again, Uncle Ben's death was the side effect. What affected Peter was the knowledge that, he he could have done something and he didn't. And so the way that played out for lots of years of the Parker luck, without it being a really crazy cliche, is that Peter Parker, basically is like, I really need to make this date. This is important for me. I need to relax. I need to have a social life. It's important to have a social life, and I like this girl, and I really want to be with her. But hey, you're a police siren down the street, and even though I like this girl, and even though I want to do something for me, I have to go investigate, and that's going to cause me to be late, or miss a date entirely. That is the proper application of Parker luck. It's like, even when he has something good that could happen to him, his responsibility causes him to do something else. And, it's good. He saved lives and everything else, and as Spider-Man, but as Peter Parker, his basically his personal life suffers as a result. It's a good story. It's a good model. Now the Parker luck is like, hey, Peter was walking down the street just minding his own business, and Tombstone just happens to be there and blows up a chemical plant, and then Peter, loses his sight for 48 hours. Parker luck. That's not Parker luck. That's just random stuff happening to him. A really good example of this is in Amazing Spider-Man right now. They've just started a new arc, and in this arc, basically, Kraven the Hunter, along with the Goblin Queen, has captured Norman Osborn's sins. I mean, this is all kind of stupid, but actually, if I back up a little further, Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, had his sins removed. And so now he's trying to atone and be a good guy, and he's trying to make good for himself. But Kraven somehow gets the mystical energy of these sins, puts them into a spear, and then goes to basically stab Norman Osborn with it to give him back his sins, and therefore be the Green Goblin again and be a worthy adversary and all the rest. I mean, it's a Kraven. It's a silly Kraven thing that really doesn't make a lot of sense if you think for 2 minutes of it. But once upon a time, there's a really great story where Kraven went to go tackle, the spider, and people have tried to kind of leech onto that story for decades now, with very little success. A lot of the Kraven stuff, it's like they don't know why, Demetrius wrote the way he did. And so now they're just trying to kind of ape it. But anyway, it's ridiculous. So what happens, of course, is Kraven breaks in, tries to, stab old Normie with the spear, and Peter, leaps in front of Norman Osborn and gets the spear in him instead. So all Norman Osborn's sins go into Peter, and the implication is that Peter's going to become a crazy, out of control, raging, goblin lunatic for a while. Parker luck. But again, that's not Parker luck, because there really was no, I need to do something. I mean, you could make the argument he was trying to save Norman, but that wasn't, him being hero and saving people is not the Parker luck part. The Parker luck part is that while he's saving people, his personal life is suffering. That's why it's Parker luck and not Spider-Man luck. Anyway, it's the big myth and the big, I guess, frustration I have with Nick Lowe, in particular the editor, but a lot of the writers, and Zeb Wells, this run sucks. But I mean, you know what? It could be for you, and that's fine. But I'm not liking it. But the basic mentality here is that Peter Parker always has to be kind of down on his luck, unhappy, and that's what Nick Lowe, that's what others have kind of said, that Peter Parker happy, Peter Parker having a good time, goes against the character. Except that's absolutely not true, because what made, Peter's, missing out on a date and stuff so charming, or why it worked, is that he actually would, every now and then, be able to have that good moment. Things would work out for him. It wasn't just bad luck all the time. One of the biggest things around that was when Peter Parker got married to Mary Jane, and the whole, face it, Tiger, you hit the jackpot. The idea of you hit the jackpot was, I'm good luck for you. That's why it was such a really good relationship. That's a lot of reasons. I mean, the comic writers have forgot that the benefit was, Peter feels this responsibility to save people, and that caused his personal life to suffer. And so Mary Jane entered his life and was such a strong companion, loved him so much that she was able to look past the fact that dates would get missed, important anniversaries because she knew about his responsibility, and she brought her good luck or her charm, everything that she had. She brought that to the relationship to balance it out. And so Peter could be a hero and also have this foundational person to fall back on. The big miss in the breakup of Peter and Mary Jane's marriage is that Peter was a more whole, more complete person when he had both sides of this. His responsibility, sometimes how it cost him things he liked personally, but this rock, this foundation, who brought, a major parts of the relationship, who brought more to him. The couple was bigger, the sum was worth more than the parts by a lot. Mary Jane, by the way, her drawback or her flaw was that, at times she was superficial and kind of that stereotypical actress and model, somebody who maybe sometimes thinks too much for herself. So the fact that she was able to self-sacrifice and be that half of that relationship, bring that kind of that joy, it was a big deal. It's why the couple was such a good couple. And so anyway, that's I thank you very much for the mail. Really appreciate it. And one day we'll do that. We'll do that interview. Why not? We'll do it. I mean, I have no idea. I'm up for it. Anyway, but I think the entire idea of Spiderman and Parker Luck has just been absolutely the most misunderstood, misapplied thing over the last, say, 10 to 15 years. It's people who really, really don't understand the value to the character and all they can bring. Anyway, that's what I think. What do you think in the comments below? Am I on the right track or off about Parker Luck? Did I describe it well or not? You let me know, and thanks for listening.